Hey guys, CJ here and welcome back to another all-new Hybrid News Now. In our stories today, some new details regarding Wolverine 3's potential inclusion of a character never before seen on screen, some all-new comments regarding Thanos and Avengers Infinity War, and brand new IMAX edition posters for all of you collectors out there going to see Captain America Civil War, and of course details on how you can get your hands on them. So let's start our day over in the Fox Marvel universe and talk a little bit about Wolverine 3. And honestly, tracking the development of this movie becomes more intriguing by the day. At first, the big story was that they were going to adapt Old Man Logan, but now the inclusion of Professor X and apparently a villainous government agency kind of hints that it's going to be a loose adaptation, to say the least. And this newest piece of news definitely seems to fit that trend. New rumors suggest that in addition to Hugh Jackman's Logan and Patrick Stewart's Professor X, the movie will also feature the current comic book Wolverine, X-23, in her first ever big screen appearance. The rumor seems to draw heavily from casting calls sent out for the picture, calling for young, shorter females of various ethnicities to act as stand-ins, calling for white, Hispanic, and Asian females with dark brown hair. It looks like comicbook.com was the first to initially tie the casting call to X-23, as the description does fit her comic book look to a T, and the addition of a clone of Wolverine would serve as an interesting twist on the original story for sure. As I'm sure you can see, the link is tenuous at best, so take it with a huge grain of salt. But let me know in the comments section down below, would you be interested in X-23 showing up in Hugh Jackman's final Wolverine movie, and potentially taking the reins? Moving on to our next story, Civil War and now Infinity War scribes Christopher Marcus and Stephen McFeely discussed their massive upcoming project with the Huffington Post, from the now infamous 67 character remark to what to expect from their big bad. They kicked things off by clearing up that infamous 67 character comment from the Russo brothers by saying that's literally just every character that had previously appeared in Marvel Studio movies that they could still use, not that there are actually going to be 60 plus leads. But when asked which character they were most excited to write scenes for, McFeely had an interesting response. Let's check his quote. Thanos, it's easy. Really giving him good scenes. You know, he's never been the villain in any of the movies. He has never been the main character in that way, so giving lots of good screen time to Thanos is paramount and pretty fun. However, Marcus quickly jumped in and clarified they're in a tricky situation with the Mad Titan. There's an aspect of, people know what's coming, so our challenge is how best are we going to handle this somewhat known quantity. But also, he's barely been touched on. He's at about 20 seconds of screen time. It definitely is an interesting position to be in. I mean, people know Thanos is coming, they have expectations of their own, but he's never been done by anyone before, and he's never even really been written for the big screen. He's essentially just a big blank purple slate. So expect Thanos to have some incredible scenes in Infinity War. And if you had to pick which moment from his comic book history would you like to see brought to the big screen? Personally for me, it's anything from Thanos Rising and that little reboot of his origin story. I need it. And to round out our day, a story of interest for you collectors out there. In advance of Captain America Civil War's release in just 15 days, AMC has revealed their lineup of 3 exclusive IMAX posters for the event, and I'll tell you how you can get your hands on them. The posters, as I already said, come in 3 varieties, starting with Team Cap featuring Steve, Bucky, Wanda, and a little cameo from Scott Lang, and of course Team Iron Man featuring Tony, Rhodey, T'Challa, and an equally minuscule Spider-Man cameo if you look really closely at the background. Interestingly enough, the third one is Black Widow-centric, featuring Natasha, Hawkeye, Vision, and Falcon. Now, this seems to highlight any potential face-off of those characters, as we've already seen the Hawkeye and Natasha duel a little bit in the trailers, but could it also potentially hint at a more neutral role for Black Widow than we had previously been led to believe? Now, as to how to get your mitts on them, it's pretty similar to what AMC did for the Force Awakens IMAX posters. Attending an IMAX screening on any one of the first 3 Sundays, May 8th, May 15th, or May 22nd, will net you 1 poster each, probably in the order that I talked about them. I am definitely Team Iron Man, so it looks like I need to find an IMAX screening in an AMC theater for May 15th, but let me know in the comments section down below which one do you want the most. So that wraps it up for another Hybrid News Now. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to smash that like if you liked what you saw, subscribe for more great content every single day, and support us on Patreon for access to all of our original content a day early. Signing off, this is CJ, and I'll see you tomorrow.